What's up, everybody? It's your boy Dawson from D&D TV. I want to thank everybody for rating, commenting, and subscribing. Everybody who's rocking with us, I really appreciate it. I also want to thank everybody who leaves a comment. I do see y'all comments, and I try to respond to everybody. And I really appreciate just the dialogue and the back and forth conversations we have on these topics. And I want everybody to know that any topics I do on my YouTube channel really do come from my heart. These are topics that I want to do, and I put a lot of, passion into them. And sometimes I can come off very, kind of like too passionate for some people, but really it's just all out of just caring about humanity and caring for people. And I thank everybody for rocking with me and who understand that when they're listening and watching these videos, that it is coming from a place of love and not of hate, to uplift humanity so we can lead and have better lives. So since I got all that out of the way, let me just jump on this story right here. Now, this story has been just brewing in the Fort Lauderdale area for almost 2 months, and now it has finally come to a conclusion of what happened to this gentleman right here, Mr. Farius Finley, who is 43 years old. And as we see in the conclusion of this whole crime, this murder, it was a tale of greed, cheating, deceit, and ultimately murder. And I'll get to that when I let you all see this video, and I'll do my commentary at the end and give you my thoughts.
Developing also at noon, the search for a shooter after a man was shot and killed earlier today right near Fort Lauderdale. Local 10 News reporter Erica Rako is live at that scene with the very latest. Erica.
Well, a man in his 40s named Farius Finley was found shot to death inside his pickup truck right here along this neighborhood street near Fort Lauderdale. Investigators are still searching for whoever killed him, and his family is beside themselves. His wife was actually out of town. She's now traveling back home following this news.
He's a loving brother. He'd do anything for anybody. So I don't know why and who would want to kill him like this. I don't know why. Oh, my God.
Family members distraught, gathering together on Northwest 8th Street at 28th Avenue near Fort Lauderdale, where Farius Finley was shot and killed early this morning.
He just got shot. Somebody shot him and killed him. They didn't rob him. They just killed him.
Finley was found dead in his white pickup truck after someone called 911 to report hearing gunshots fired around 3 a.m. Broward County Sheriff's deputies blocked off the neighborhood, first searching for the shooter. Then, while they collected evidence and spoke with witnesses, Finley's family says he's a husband, a father, a hard worker, and they're now begging for anyone who knows anything about what happened to come forward.
Whoever did this, please turn yourself in, because he don't deserve this. He don't bother nobody. He really don't bother nobody.
And his family tells us they're not sure why he was in this neighborhood. One of his friends who came out here says he last saw him at 2 o'clock this morning, and he told him he was going home to the Lauderdale Manor area. Of course, if you have any information that law enforcement could use, give Crime Stoppers a call. We're live near Fort Lauderdale this afternoon. Erica Rako, Local 10 News.
First I want to give a shout out to the Broward Sheriff's Office deputies who solved this case, because even if the outcome is not what the family wanted or what his wife wanted, they did solve this case within a matter of 2 months, and we do have a conclusion as to what happened to Mr. Farius Finley. Now, 2 weeks later, I guess the Broward County Sheriff deputies got some tips, and they went ahead and they arrested Mr. Larry Bostic, 38 years old, on premeditated murder charges. And as they were getting information from him, they were still talking to family member and friends as to why he was in this particular area that was miles away from his house. And relatives, still said they're not sure why Mr. Farius Finley was in that neighborhood where he was killed. One of his friends said that he had last saw him at 2 a.m. on that Tuesday morning, and said that Finley told him that he was going home to the Lauderdale Manor areas, which is where he lived, which is miles away from where his the shooting took place. And investigators still continue to investigate, talk to Mr. Larry Bostic, who they had in custody, and then he went ahead and told them exactly what happened. And that is that Larry Bostic, this 38-year-old man here on the right, along with his boyfriend, this gentleman here on the left, Mr. Derek Slade, 21 years old, wanted money to celebrate Mr. Larry Bostic's birthday. So his boyfriend Darius Slade here was working as a male prostitute in the Fort Lauderdale area, and they decided that the first person they came upon that night who had stopped to get Mr. Slade's services, they would kill and rob. And that man was Mr. Farius Finley. Now, as it went on, there was a third man who was involved who has not, they haven't captured this man. They don't have any details on him. They just know it was a third man involved. And I'm sure they're going to, have him in custody soon. But I just want to deal with this topic here, with these two gentlemen right here. It is a sad thing that happened to Mr. Farius Finley, and I don't want to sound like I'm not sympathetic or empathetic to his family and everything on this. And, it's a sad thing that this man was a contractor. He an independent contractor. He worked in construction plastering. And, he was he did his thing. He worked. He took care of his wife. He took care of his kids. All of that is good. But he had a secret life. And that secret life was when his wife was out of town, he chose to go pick up a male prostitute, and that cost him his life. And it's sad because on these videos, I'm always telling women, y'all talking about I'm always hard on the women, but I am, because I'm a social worker and I know what's going on out here. And I know how people can say they love you and they want you and they want to be with you. And this is not only the women, it's with men too. We really don't know what people will do. We only know what people will do when they're in our presence, or if we kind of catch them on certain things. Then we can say, okay, this person, they seem to be loyal, they seem to be committed. But this man here, Mr. Farius Finley, had 2 kids. He was married. His wife happened to be out of town the day that he went to pick up a male prostitute. And because of that, it cost him his life. He didn't know that day that he was going to pick up this man, that was going to be his last day on earth. And it's really sad because his wife and his family members, even though this may not be the outcome they wanted or something they didn't want to know about, it happened. And his wife know, his sisters know. And they were saying, well, we didn't know why he was in this area. Now you know why he was in that area at 2 a.m. in the morning. And it's a sad situation. And again, I feel so sorry for his family, his children, and even his wife, who probably didn't know this side of his lifestyle. But at the end of the day, as I've always stated on my videos, when it comes to women and men, even with the Pamela Stigler situation, that teacher who was in Fort Lauderdale too, who had that sexual encounter with that boy, her husband, Kenneth Stigler, at home, Stigler, did not know that his wife, who he had been married to, this actress, was out here having sex with some of her 15-year-old students. We don't know what people will do when we're in relationships with them. All we know is what they do when they're in front of us. And I don't want to jump off the subject of Mr. Darius Slade, 21 years old, who's dating this 38-year-old Larry Bostic, these two who were lovers. I don't want to, not to leave them unscathed, because you're 38 years old, man. At 38 years old, you should be able to go out and get a job, or to have a job already, some kind of income, and to use this 21-year-old boy to go out there and to set somebody up so you and another guy could rob them. And it's like, this stuff does not only happen when it comes to male prostitutes. This stuff happens a lot when female prostitutes and transgender prostitutes are prostituting in general, where people are setting people up and you thinking you finna just have an exchange of services. You giving me service, I'm giving you money, and that's it, I'm gone. But the thing is, you picking up this woman on the street, you picking up this man or transgender on the street, and they got 3 of their homeboys in the alley. They taking you to a remote place, or somebody's following you in a car, and when you get there, your pants are down to the ground, and somebody coming up robbing you. They coming up, they done shot you, or they, beat you up, taking your car, taking your money, and just left you there for dead. And the other thing that happened, that Mr. Finley could have put his family in danger, because there have been situations where people have stopped for prostitutes, or who have met people on these different apps and websites, and the people have robbed them and taken their wallets and all their information, and then have taken their car, and went to those people's house because now they got your key. He could have put his wife and his children in danger as well. And this is just to go to show that we all have to be mindful about who we date. We have to ask those serious questions. We have to investigate. Yeah, we have to investigate. I believe everybody need to investigate about the people who say they love you. And we need to know people by their works, by their actions. All of this stuff, you know, his mama say he a good guy, his auntie say, and the pastor say, man, forget all that. What do you say? You have to live with him. You got to sleep with him. And that goes for women, too. They're the same thing where we have women who get caught up in situations. Oh, she's a nice married wife, but she met some guy on Plenty of Fish. She met some other guy on Christian Mingle and had an outside, you know, affair on her husband. And now the man she's with want to come back and kill her husband or do this. I mean, we really don't know what people will do. And this is just a sad situation for everybody involved. And, you know, the news people, they really didn't want to go big with this story after they found out that this man was involved in some type of, you know, homosexual activity, picking up a male prostitute, and therefore that ended his life. But this is what the news people came out with in their blog, that the case has finally come to a conclusion. We found out why this guy was shot almost, you know, at around between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. in the morning. He was out looking for prostitutes. And this is not just to single him out, because if you Google men who've been killed by prostitutes or who've been set up by prostitutes, we're going to find thousands of stories in all these areas around the world. This stuff happens all the time. But my thing to you all is to be careful who you get in relationships with. And for people who may be listening to this, who have a linkling to go out and get prostitutes, to date people on websites, or to get on apps and to pick up people for a quick round of sex, hey, you grown. My thing to you is, that's what you're going to do. Don't put another woman in that. Don't put another man in that. Do what you want to do while you're single. And when you decide that you want to leave all that mess behind, and you really know you want to leave it behind, that's when you get in a relationship. But now we have people who get in relationships and they take their single life in there with them. Yeah, we married. Yeah, but I'm still going to have somebody on the side. I'm still going to have a second girlfriend or a third boyfriend or all this right here. And we don't understand that we're playing with people's life, y'all. We're playing with people's life. And in this case, and in many cases, you're playing with your life. Because you don't know if the person you're with gonna take you out, or if the person you were committed to and got married to gonna take you out. Because y'all know one of my favorite shows is on TV1. I love me some Fatal Attraction. And eventually I'm gonna start doing reviews on those episodes, because Fatal Attraction keeps me sober, and it keeps me humble, and it keeps me balanced. Because people out here are not taking this mess when you playing with their heart and playing with their emotion. You need to tell people the truth. No, I don't want to be in a relationship. We're just friends. We're just kicking it. We're just, you know, if it is what it is, sex buddies, that's what we're doing. Don't get into relationships lying to people. Because not only are you affecting your friends and your family, you're affecting your wife or your husband and your children, who have to live with this thing knowing that my dad died picking up a male prostitute. My dad died picking up a female prostitute, and I have to live with this for the rest of my life. So again, you know, my prayers and condolences go out to, you know, the victim's family and his children and his wife, who probably did not know he was doing this. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I'm sure this probably wasn't the first time that this man had picked up, you know, a prostitute, be it male or female. I don't think this was his first time. And being that he knew the area to go into to do that, and his family and friends were like, you know, why is he in this area? He doesn't know anybody over here. He doesn't even live here. Y'all, again, it's your boy Dawson from D&D TV. Let's be honest in relationships. Let's be honest in everything we do. If you're single and you just want to mingle and do what you want to do that when you just do it. Do it. I don't care if you're in your 40s or your 50s. Don't let nobody pressure you to get in a relationship. Oh, you getting to be you getting up there now. You might as well want to settle down. Well, your sexual organs aren't ready to settle down. You still want to go out there and do what you want to do. So go out there and do it. Don't bring nobody else into your madness and to your deception, because they have to live with the consequences that you do. Again, it's oh, and another thing, this is not a video that I'm doing to bash people for a particular lifestyle or anything, or to judge. This is just a video that happened to be with male prostitutes, just like if it was with female prostitutes or whoever prostitutes. This Dawson and Denise, we gonna talk about everything. But I would go on to say too that I don't know what Mr. Finley's religious preference was, because I was talking with somebody about this a couple of days ago, and I was saying to them, I am not going to push people into getting married. I don't care what my religious or spiritual affiliation is, because I think that is a choice that those people need to make. On the other hand, nor am I going to go tell people who come around and saying that they're ex-gay and ex-lesbian, all this kind of stuff. I was talking to a friend. I don't want none of my sisters, my mama, my auntie, them to marry nobody who's ex-gay, nor do I want my brothers or my nephews to marry somebody who's an ex-lesbian, because I do not believe that is X for you. Now, that is my personal opinion, because I know people say, oh, they struggling with lesbianism, they struggling with homosexuality. Let me tell you something. I don't think you struggling when you sucking another man's penis. And I don't think you're struggling when they sucking yours, or you're having sex with them, or if you're sucking another woman's vagina, however it goes. I'm trying not to cuss y'all. I'm trying to be good, but I'm just saying how I really feel. I think that I'm just speaking for me and my family. As for me and my house, I don't want my mama dating no man who's an ex nothing, because I don't believe you ex. I believe you are what you are. And for Mr. Finley, I don't know if somebody had told him to go marry and to go have kids and do all this kind of stuff, but it was something innate in him that had him picking up a male prostitute at 2 something in the morning in the Fort Lauderdale area, miles away from his house. And I don't like it when we get up here and we judge certain things and say, oh, that's what they get for this and that's what they get for this. Because y'all, there are thousands upon thousands of stories where we have seen people from all different backgrounds, all different walks of life, all different educational backgrounds, people who have all different jobs, who get caught up in stuff like this, and they get killed, they get hurt, they family members get hurt, and they wait till they're, you know, miles away from where they live to act out something that they feel that is innate in them. And so that's just my thing on this topic. This could have easily been a case where a female prostitute did something. This is just a case that had been brewing in Fort Lauderdale, that there was really it started off big and then it started to go down, and it was just like little information here and little information there. And then as we get to the conclusion, you know, it's almost like the news people really didn't want to talk about, but we have to talk about issues like this, because y'all, this is going on in our communities, in our towns, and it could easily be our cousins, our brothers, our uncles, our fathers, our sisters. It could be anybody who caught up in stuff like this in secret lives, and we don't know about it, and then it leads to their deaths, or it leads to the entire family being hurt. So that's why I did this video. And again, you know, like I said before, my prayers and my condolences go out to Mr. Finley's family. And I hope those 2 gentlemen, Mr. Darius Slade and Larry Bostic, you know, I hope y'all get what y'all deserve, man. And that they really just, you know, just slam down the book at y'all, because that was just uncalled for. And also, again, I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to say it on every video I can say, y'all, do not get into relationships lying to people. Karma is real. And when your karma comes back, it is what it is. It's your boy Dawson. Take care of yourself and each other. Peace.